Cypress Financial Group presents the Retirement Roundtable Podcast with John Scallan. Get more at cypressfinancial.net. Now, let's get to the show.
John Scallan is here. We'll tell you here in just a couple of seconds how you take advantage of the no-cost, no-obligation Cypress Retirement Roadmap. It's personalized, it's customized just for you by John Scallan. But John, with that being said, I'll be the first one to admit, John, we are no longer spring chickens, okay? And I'm okay with admitting that. I can tell anytime that I get up out of the chair or when I wake up in the morning that I am not a young man anymore.
Man, speak for yourself. Come on, man. I've got 70 in sight, and I've still got a little gas in the tank. Come on.
Well, that's what happens when you work out on a daily basis, John Scallan, as opposed to me, who just enjoys a little bourbon and baseball. But with that being said, John, time sneaks up on us. I want you to hear this clip from influencer Eric Hobaugh, who put into words something that a lot of folks in their 50s are feeling right now.
Nobody warned Gen X how fast this part of our lives would happen, and that's the truth. 1 minute you're 28, thinking you have all the time in the world, and then suddenly looking around realizing, oh my God, we're the old people. Nobody warned us about how that was going to feel. Nobody warns Gen X after 50. Time starts to moves differently, much faster, scarier, more serious.
Yep. After 50, John, time moves differently. That lands, buddy. But some folks, for them, that feeling comes with something more than just nostalgia. It's sitting up at 2 a.m, realizing they haven't really done anything about their retirement. So what would you tell that 58-year-old who says, I think I've waited too long?
Well, great way to start the show as always, sir, especially as time is moving fast for you and I. Mark, the first thing that I would tell this gentleman is you didn't call too late. The fact is that you called, and I mean that. Let me paint a picture of what that call sounds like. I mean, imagine a man, 58 years old. He's got a good job. He raised his kids. He put 2 of them through private school and college. You know, the thing about him is he set almost nothing aside for himself. And gosh, I've seen this too often, Mark. I mean, you know, they come in carrying it around like a shameful secret. I mean, can barely say the number out loud in terms of what he's accumulated. And what I think is what he needs to hear is this: nobody is grading you on the last 30 years. And if they were, you'd get an A++. You took care of your family, right? That's the thing. I mean, we're only talking about the years that you've got left. Let's not look back. That's a canceled check. I mean, at 58 years old, the reality is you are not out of time. You may not be on cruise control or autopilot, but you still have time.
But John, for that 58-year-old, there's got to be a point where the math just doesn't work. Is there really a limit to what you can honestly promise to somebody who's 58 who hasn't done a thing to get started about retirement?
There is. I'm not going to sit here and tell him he can start at 58 and retire like he started at 28, right? That just wouldn't be the right thing or the truth. But look at what he's still holding, because it's more than he thinks. Number one, he is in his top earning years right now. He's never been more connected, never known his profession better. He's making the most money he ever had. The kids are off the payroll, and the rules let him put more away after 50 years old than, say, a young man can. I mean, Mark, that's the fastest savings window, 50 and older, of his entire life. And guess what? That window is open right now. Here's number 2. Social Security. When he claims that, it is worth a fortune to him. Think about guaranteed lifetime income, a cost of living adjustment that has gone up by an average of 3.8% since 1970. 5, right? And Mark, then there's the house. That's number 3. Real money sitting there, and there's more than one way to use it. So Mark, what I'm talking about here, 3 levers, and here's the part that hurts. They close at 58 years old. They close very quietly, one at a time as the years go by.
Okay, so John, let me ask you that. In this situation, for that gentleman, this hypothetical situation, where does he end up? If he sits down and he does the work, what's on the other side?
Usually still working, but by choice now, okay? And that's a different thing entirely. You push hard on that savings window. You map out when he claims and why, and he walks out with a date on his calendar. We've got a number that we have worked through together. Mark, is it potentially later than he once imagined? Probably, but now he knows it's written down, and that knot that he came in with in his stomach, it's gone, Mark. And that's what changes. Not the last 30 years. What changes is the next 10 and how we address these next 10 going forward.
Okay, I don't mean to be all like doom and gloom and devil's advocate here, but I know there's somebody listening this weekend that's in situations just like that. So what if in this situation, this gentleman was 58, he made the call, he got the work done with the help of you, John, and the team at Cypress Financial. But what if that person waits another 3 years to make the call?
Well, Mark, in that situation, it isn't 3 years of savings that he lost. It's the leverage, that whooshing sound that Eric is talking about. You know, that's not just birthdays going by. These are options, opportunities that are closing for this 58-year-old. I mean, you know, the 58-year-old has almost all 3 levers. The 65-year-old, maybe he's just got 2 to pull.
If I can take away anything that you're saying right now, John Scallan, is it's never too early to call, but there is a chance it may be too late. So now more than ever, if it's on your mind, we invite you to call the team at Cypress Financial, because nobody's grading you on the last 30 years, as John said, only the ones you've got left. So 58, 55, 60 years old, you've been carrying that knot around at 2 a.m. You don't have to keep doing that. Bring in that portfolio. Bring in that knot. John and the team at Cypress will show you exactly what levers you still got. No judgment, no lectures. We just invite you to call right now. We have a team member standing by. 504-732-1001. And John, I have a follow-up question, because a lot of us see, and I'm in that age range too, I'm bumping up against 50, but I'm seeing all these stories, John, that say, well, don't even think about retiring until you have at least $4 million saved for retirement. But John, you know, I saw a study that said happy retirees have at least $10 million in assets. Well, I'm nowhere near that, John. So why am I going to make the call if I don't have these supposed numbers that I need to retire comfortably? What do you say to the person that says, yeah, I'm 58, yeah, I'm 60, but I don't have that $5 million in assets?
Mark, that's a bunch of hogwash if you ask me. I mean, let me call a spade a spade. Look, I've seen people walk into our office with a huge amount of money in a retirement plan, but at the same time, they were really swimming in debt, right? Multiple houses, multiple cars. The scenario of whoever dies with the most toys wins. And then I've seen people come in really content. Okay, they haven't saved this huge multi-million-dollar number, but Mark, they've got no debt. They don't have any baggage. They are lean and light. They're focused on their family. They're focused on this next 30-year chapter, and they are going to enjoy it. So putting a number on it, nonsense. Come on in. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's build a plan specifically to you, to your life, your family, and your dreams. Let's get together and make it work.
504-732-1001. And thank you for censoring yourself this weekend too, John, because you're right. That is hogwash, because everybody's plan, everybody's budget is different, and everybody has the same fear, running out of money in retirement. Let's get together. Let's put together that Cypress Retirement Roadmap. It's personalized, it's customized, and it's no cost to you this weekend. We always save space specifically for our radio audience when you call 504-732-1001 online at cypressfinancial.net. And John, we're always talking about income. Income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. And MarketWatch ran a piece on annuities, making the case that retirees with steady, predictable income report less financial stress. Now, people have strong opinions about annuities either way, but I want to come at this from a different direction because I bet a whole lot of folks listening right now own an annuity and couldn't tell you what it actually does. Is that fair?
Mark, that's more than fair. I mean, truthfully, that's one of the most common things that we run into. Somebody slides a statement across the table and, the client says, listen, I've had this for 12 years. And then we just naturally ask the question at some point, what was the purpose of this annuity? What lever is it pulling for you? What was the intent? What is this doing? Mark, more often than not, there's a pause. I mean, the client, they know it's there. They know it was and is the responsible thing to do at the time, but they haven't opened this thing up, haven't looked under the hood since the day they purchased the product.
So give me a version that, I guess like the Cliff Notes version, the idiot's guide to annuities that even I, John Scallan, would understand.
Mark, let's talk about an older car. No, I'm not talking about that jacked up Nova that I was driving in 1978 with my girlfriend's, name on the back window. Let's just say we're talking about a 2008 car. It's a Toyota. It runs great, gets you to church and back. But there's no backup camera, right? This was a long time ago. No blind spot warning, no advanced headlights or brakes or lane assist, right? Now there's nothing wrong with the car. It's a good car. It's just built to what was possible in 2008 or 2013, Mark. It's an old annuity. It's not broken, just built to what the world looked like 10, 15, 20 years ago. But Mark, here's the part that costs people real money. Imagine this same gentleman is still making car payments every month on that car. It's even sitting in the garage. He doesn't even drive it.
So what's the point? Why are we making payments on a car we don't even drive?
Mark, in this annuity automobile analogy, because he doesn't know he's doing it. And sometimes with an old annuity, that's exactly what's happening to a lot of people. A whole lot of them have what's called an income rider. This is a rider that's designed to provide income. And remember, Mark, whenever there's an income rider, more often than not, there is a fee for that, a fee that is charged not one time, Mark, but every single year, whether you use it or not. Here's the kicker. Plenty of those people don't want income out of that annuity. They don't need it. They've got a pension. They've got Social Security. They don't have a lot of debt. They're doing just fine. But Mark, what's happening is they're paying year after year for a feature that's sitting in the garage.
How could something like that happen to somebody who's careful, who's ahead of the game, who's educated?
I mean, Mark, the same way it happens with anything you buy once and never go back to it. I mean, we've all done that. They didn't buy it wrong. It may have made all the sense in the world at that time. Maybe the pension wasn't settled yet. Maybe a spouse was still working. But Mark, what happens is life usually answers these questions, and nobody ever told the product. It just keeps doing the job it was hired to do, let's say way back in 2013, and it continues to charge for it. These fees coming out, they don't know your circumstances have changed. They just keep being paid year by year.
Okay, so somebody makes the phone call, John Scallan. They call you and the team at Cypress Financial, 504 732-1001. They go online at cypressfinancial.net. And let me just put it out here, a little side note. The voice you hear this weekend, John Scallan, that's the gentleman that you will sit down with, that you will be working with from day one. 504-732-1001. Somebody makes a phone call, they sit down with you, and it turns out they are paying for a feature that they'll never use. Then what?
Well, Mark, the first thing, it depends on where they are, and this really matters. If someone bought an annuity contract recently, they probably are inside what is called the surrender period, especially in the early years. If you move out of these annuities, it can cost you real money. Now, that's usually not a good move, and anybody who breezes over that detail, you should probably run from them, not walk. I mean, but Mark, some of these older contracts, older than 5 years, most of the time the surrender penalty is limited or it's long gone. They're free to move this money, but they didn't know it. And that's the man paying every year for something they'll never use. Remember, we tell them you have options because the newer generation of these products is a lot more dynamic, more ways to structure them, more investment options, including indexes, more flexibility in terms of how much money you can pull out. And Mark, here's the one that surprises a lot of people. There are many annuities with no annual fee. For the man paying every year for a rider he never turns on, this is really a key move. And what any of these moves can offer, with the rate environment, that changes as well. So, Mark, the right answer for a family genuinely can be different today than the day they purchased the product. The question was never whether it's a good product, it's whether this product serves the person who owns it.
That makes much more sense about the power of an annuity. So if you have a question about your annuity and whether it's still serving you or not, because the ultimate goal of the annuity is to build income that lasts as long as you do to and through retirement, we invite you to call 504-732-1001. Again, 504-732-1001. That first meeting is compliments of the team at Cypress Financial. And we also invite you to spend some time at cypressfinancial.net. And John, I actually want to peel back the curtain a little bit about what you do, John Scallan, the team at Cypress Financial. And we say it every week. You live here, you work here, you play here. You're proud to be a part of Southern Louisiana and the community. But tell me about what's changed in this industry over the past 20, 30 years that you've been doing this. And what have you noticed that has helped the families you serve? What's helped them the most?
Yeah, Mark, this is probably a 4-bottle of wine conversation, but I'm going to try to sum it up. I mean, Mark, we're always in the community. We're always rubbing elbows with our clients. I mean, we really don't like transactional relationships. Where we are at our best is when we really get to spend time with our clients. We want to understand them. We want to get to know their families. Mark, I guess what's coming up right now, we do these client appreciation events, which are not sales events. We just invite clients to wine tastings and dinners and skeet shooting and just so many museums and movies. And, at one of these events, we had a client walk up at the end. She said, "Hey, this was so much fun. I had such a great time." And, she paused and she looked up at us. She says, "I really want to commend you and your team." And she said, "John, we've really been through a lot together, haven't we?" And, I stepped back and I smiled and I said, we really have. And our relationship kind of flooded through my mind. We first got together way back in 2008 during the Great Recession. Husband was laid off. I mean, we've been through so much since that time. The next morning, we debrief. Everyone gets in early. We have coffee. We talk about the event. We talk about our clients and things we learned and how we need to get better. And I looked at the team and I said, and I quote, "What a life, what an opportunity, what a life of significance that we have been given, a gift to us to walk side by side with these clients, us helping them helping us." We're blessed.
Yeah.
We're blessed to serve these families in this incredible state, in the Gulf Coast. And I could have not drawn up a better career for myself and my team.
Again, that number, 504-732-1001. And John, tell me about it. Where can we find the 2 locations of Cypress Financial?
We are in the heart of Metairie, Causeway Boulevard, on the South Shore, across that big, beautiful bridge. And on the North Shore, we have a beautiful facility on Florida Street. We will meet you at your homes, at your business. We'll do Zoom calls, team calls. Listen, give us an opportunity to help you. We are here to help. It would be the privilege of our professional careers just to meet you and start working on this plan that we know beyond a shadow of a doubt will really make a difference in this next best chapter of your life.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Cypress Financial Group. Cypress Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Cypress Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any reference to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Cypress Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Cypress Financial Group. This radio show is a paid placement.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA.
Please note, it is not possible to invest directly into the S&P 500 index. This measure is provided solely as a gauge of overall market performance. Standard & Poor's, S&P, and S&P 500 are registered trademarks of Standard & Poor's Financial Services, LLC, S&P. The historical performance of the S&P 500 is not intended as an indication of its future performance and is not guaranteed.